What's up everyone, Speedy here. In this 1v1 video, we're going to be doing 2 live games as well as 1 replay review. So let's get right into it. Here we are in game number 1. And so the goal for this video is I want to try to build on some good habits with boost conservation, just boost management. So wanting to really kind of just make sure I'm not overusing boost. Should have expected the bump there. Honestly, that was a good bump. I didn't think he was going to be that committed to the bump for that long. Thought he would have broken off for it, but all good. Yeah, so generally I just want to be pretty good about my boost conservation. So like even here, so I'm just going to go, playing it slow. Just wait. Don't have to use boost. It's quite that too slow. So what I could do differently is like instead of being so passive, there's that brief moment. So a little bit after here, when he's spinning around and kind of twirling around, there's a brief moment where he could have gone there. Just played that a little bit too passive. Just getting kind of owned in the start of this game, but all good. Still a shit ton of game left. Not a great start, but all good though. Nice. Get ourselves on the board there. It was actually good that I played that the way I did. I didn't jump up for that, just fake jumped, tried to force a play, and as soon as I see him flip, that's when it's easier for me to kind of make my setup here. Take time. But it's just kind of like playing too passive. Kind of similar mistake that I was making. When you're in a position like that, you don't have to shoot right away. So what I did there was kind of the correct thing. So have to be careful about the committal here. Oh, he got way more power than I thought he was going to. I tried to read the second hit there, and he just kind of powered past. All good though. Let's bring it back to my corner. So the important thing is just not wasting boost there and also not committing. So like here, just took time, was very conservative there with my boost. You see how just by being aware of my boost usage made it a lot easier. Here I'm going to let the ball kind of just bounce straight to middle. You can kind of take your time there. You don't have to rush for an angle or anything like that. Once you know you have a really good beat and there's plenty of time, you can take time. Here, grab this pad, start grabbing pads. Do the same thing once again. Kinda didn't get that setup I wanted. Okay, just put pressure for the bump. Not exactly accurate, but all good. But I wasn't ready for the bump there. And just like that. Super basic, is cringe, but it works. The opponent is just kind of floating in a position, and you don't want to be in that position as the defender there. That's a really bad position to be in, specifically for that type of play. Super susceptible to a bump. Ooh. A little too slow on the save setup there. Will probably just be a little bit faster there. Probably kind of like cover a little bit higher there. Try to keep him above. Nice. Fake for the ball here. Respect that the opponent's going to go there. Opponent misses, and then just get the free shot. Pretty rough start for this game, I will admit. Definitely a rough start, being like 3 or 4 goals down to start. But get ourselves on the board and have ourselves a decent game. Yeah, just fake, just try to force him faster. Cover for the shot. Opponent's trying to use a reset. They have a clear habit and a pattern of using their resets a lot. Poor weakness. Honestly, I should have paid more attention to the ball than the opponent there. I thought that... unfortunately, I skimmed. That sucks. Bump didn't do anything. Pretty poor play. Save boost. Don't have to use boost to get closer to the play. It's a really common mistake. But it's going to be an air dribble, not a problem. And just like that, you see how just force the opponent to make the mistake? Like here. Like they don't have to go there. And then they're trying to go for a squishy save. And the second they start going up like that, that's the obvious shoot low. Because that's the hardest position to cover, is the opposite like movement here. Nice, get another goal. All right, I'm actually really happy with my boost conservation. Not as great when it comes to just awareness of like when to challenge. That's something so far this game has been a little bit weaker, but I like what I'm doing with my boost conservation here. I'm actually going to turn around early. An awkward setup for the opponent. They're going to get that boost, that's fine. Save my boost. That's a good bump. I actually thought he was further. Opponent actually messes that up. I did too. Game is over. Good game. Definitely not a bad first game. Could be better though. Here we are in game number 2. So let's follow up with that first game here. Try to focus on doing well with how much we use our boost. Careful about using too much boost here. Grab that corner boost. But it's going to be 0 boost. Just complete control of that play. Just like legit complete control of that play. Opponent had no opportunities to really get back into it. So that was very, very well played. Here comes the boost. Click right. Save some boost. I hit that towards his net. That force him awkward. Or I'm going to own goal basically because I'm garbage at the game. First. Honestly, just didn't even have to go for that play at all. Would have been totally fine just not going. Hook it though. wants to go for a bump, not a problem. Opponent's obviously going to go for a bump there, so what you want to do is now here, kind of respect what the opponent's trying to go for. Or just fucking roll. That also works. Both missing. Whatever. Get the mental back. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Take your open nets, guys. With the stop side flipping. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what brain cells the guy was thinking were the correct ones to use there, going for the corner boost of all things. That is a crazy decision. I mean, that was just beautiful. Dude, that was just really well played. Yeah, that was just single jumping. Fortunately, don't get the insta shot, but still, I mean, the opponent at that point was like fully committed, and there was no other save. Opponent's awkward. Yeah. Opponent honestly had a definite moment they could have challenged that. And here, you see I'm just not using my boost. I'm just holding on to my boost. I don't have to use it. Like this, honestly, this video so far, I feel like really good about my boost usage. Just being aware of how much boost you're using in a given play is itself like a very huge advantage. So like I'm using a good bit here. And the reason why that worked for him is because I challenged. Is because I hit the ball into him, which gave the ball momentum into my goal side. So I focus on recovery. Dude. Boost conservation, guys. 12 boost. Literally 12 boost. That's all I had. But you can make that boost count, get your momentum, and make that work. I mean, that's nice. That's just nice. Excellent. Opponent's not expecting a bump play there. That little bump right there, that's all it takes. Is because he's already 0 boost. And he had momentum to be able to hit the ball there. But if you take this momentum and you throw him out of the way with it, that's poor touch. Oh, I didn't know he had that. For him, it's a good shot. Goes for the musty. Can't go for that boost, gotta go for the corner. In here, go for the corner. Not a really threatening shot. Catch and miss. Just be annoying. Kind of a dangerous position. Don't do what I did there. And GG. Nicely done. Not the flashiest games, but still felt really good to be in control of my boost usage. Okay, so here we are in the replay portion of the video. Just played this game, and this had to be one of the, honestly, overall, especially later in the game and just throughout the midpoint of the game, probably the best game I played against the Grand Champion. Really, like, especially in Comp 1s, Grand Champions are really oftentimes really hard to play against. Just they're very high pressure. But I tried to make it a point to play faster, but also not overuse boost, but it was hard. I will admit there were times where I was definitely overusing boost, and I want to kind of like think about that and kind of just be aware of that. Here, I don't mind the idea for the bump because it is trying to force the opponent, but the problem is like this much separation from the ball. If I miss that play, I'm committed in position and also boost. So it's a pretty risky play. Like it worked obviously in this situation, but it's dangerous. There, unfortunately, I was just a little bit too low, or a little too slow to the read there. Probably could have just been a little bit faster. It could recognize the opponent was going to be there. Really, it comes from space. So like grabbing this boost is fine, but turning upfield this way, so in this direction instead of this direction, is a lot more dangerous. It takes just that extra moment of time, and that extra moment of time is all it needs. Because now it puts me here instead of a better position where I could shadow and then have a more favorable position to work with. Here, just too much space, kind of getting separate there, and at that point the opponent has a clear shot, an open shot to work with. Yeah, just definitely it's an awareness mistake, really, and positioning mistake. Just the way I'm positioning myself and committing to a bad position. Unfortunately, don't get that boost. Just not the best corner kickoff here. They're just trying to cover for a potential shot. Very low boost, but just trying to play safe. Grab this pad. Opponent doesn't do a great job of setting up the play. That's okay. There, just bring the ball forward. Opponent's going to be naturally aggro. Once I saw that, that really told me, like, okay, the opponent's going to be naturally aggressive. Just kind of played through that, you know, recognize and respect that they're going to be aggro, but also know when the challengeable opportunities occur and then take advantage of those. So that's one of those situations where recognizing he was in a bad spot because he stayed committed to the play and wouldn't really back off. This is actually a pretty good heads-up play. Just honestly, opponent was... From what I saw from when I scored this, like the instant I scored this, the opponent just did not expect me to go for a shot on low boost. They thought, oh, he's low boost, he's going to back off to his corner, or he's going to kind of like play super safe. No, I just was like, screw it, I'm just going to shoot. You know, I'm just going to shoot, keep that pressure on. There's a sequence coming up here that honestly had to be one of the best defended sequences that I had in recent memory. Here, unfortunately, just shot high. This is just a fortunate miss. The classic crossbar sound. It's painful. But here, just recognizing the opponent is not in a position that really can actually like do anything with the shot. This is a really poor 50 though. I like the patience to try to kind of be aware of where the opponent's going to go, just waiting here. But the thing is that playing it low while the opponent's playing high, they're going to naturally dunk this, which is what happened. Ideally, you want to probably try to be a bit more patient and just wait for them to hit it to you, and then you hit it, because then you'll naturally have an easier touch to work with. Or even just simply like getting a single jump 50. Here, just played it fast, and then actually I slowed it down for a moment, seeing that, of course, the opponent's like, again, you know, very committal here. Just letting the opponent make bad touches, that's fine. That touch isn't going to do a whole lot. Opponent is very much committal. Here, this is a moment where I really recognized to just not use a lot of boost, just kind of took it easy, just use the wave dash to get momentum for the play. This is a pretty good touch. The opponent was doing this quite a bit. This is a decent Grand Champion opponent. At this point though, after winning this game, it actually promoted me to Diamond 2 Division 4, so it's definitely pretty good. There you see, so pay attention to that little like movement, that little twitch of the camera. There was a very specific reason I did that. It's not like a tick or anything. It's something I specifically chose to do because I wanted to get a better vision of the opponent. And because I wanted to get just a tiny bit better vision of like where their name was and where they were. But once I saw that, I was like, okay, then we're in a good spot. Here, this is pretty sketchy save, I'm not gonna lie. Very, very low boost, but again, just was like, okay, well, I'm gonna give myself a high percentage play to work with here. Here, just try to like work with this position. Gotta just make sure I'm in a good position to work with here. Opponent at this point, like, doesn't really have a shot. So I recognize, okay, patience here, patience here. Opponent 0 boost. I could tell they're going to be like very low boost because they use most of their boost. This is a case where like this was really important for me to mentally recognize to save my boost. Because what I did is like, after I grabbed this pad, or the big boost, I just waited. I had 75 boost basically. The opponent had like near nothing. And at that point, then the opponent now is super committed to my half. And I have full boost to be able to rush the play before they can recover. So it's, again, this is a really, really key case where recognizing the potential for me to use what I had with me in a very smart way. So I like this. I like the way I pushed this. This was good. Getting a good early lead. I kind of did like a little mini like fist pump here because I felt really good with my momentum, even though I did get scored on not terribly long after. Just I feel good, you know, like definitely it was a rough start. Try to protect for the shot just in case the opponent of course missed, which is fine, but still try to respect for the shot. Here, just go for the bump. Opponent does a good job of getting out of the way. Here, just trying to make sure I stay like boost padded up. So of course he's going to go for the reset. I honestly had the right idea for the save. It's just I didn't really do a good job of it. Here, just honestly, like the patience is fine. The opponent is going to go for a wave dash shot. Here, just like just not necessarily stopping really, just like kind of playing towards the ball and just rolling towards it. Then getting that touch honestly would have been fine. Didn't have to make like a patient touch to a flip because the ball's moving fast enough where it's not going to be easy to cover for that shot. So just a slight change of positioning, and honestly the slight change of like how I handle that shot. I like the fact that I went for these pads. Typically I would normally go for the big boost, but the thing is that in my mind, because I was thinking boost conservation and boost usage and management, I wanted to be in a position by using these small pads that I can then be in a position where it's easier for me to work with. If I were further back because of getting that boost pad or the big boost, I would have been in a slightly awkward position. I likely would have over pushed or under pushed, but here, because I was able to kind of like give myself the mental space to know it was a good time to go, I put myself in a really good spot for this. This is also really good. Just good patience here, just playing it slow. Opponent's doing a lot of early touches here, really like early challenges and just going. And that's not a bad thing. The problem is when the opponent is very aggro, it's just, you want to be careful. Not a good recovery. Definitely you want to be careful. I don't mind the way I play this. Not a great catch. Just honestly, you just need to do a slightly better job of kind of like hovering under the white circle there, and that'd have been fine. Here, that single jump is okay, but it's not great because it puts me in a bad committed position. I do like this recovery here. This is a great shot though, just insta pressure on the opponent. He does a good job saving that. And then here, just again, patience. Just waiting, and then waiting. And at this point, I recognize, okay, get a good touch here, and then clear the ball into the net. So overall, this has been a really good game. Definitely some mistakes for sure. Definitely a couple times overcommitting and just, you know, not putting myself in the best position. But it's still really good. I don't mind this. It's a good touch from the opponent. Here, just getting that bump on the opponent. I kind of overcooked a little bit here. I thought it was going to kind of like scoop up into the ball. I wanted to go for a ceiling touch. It wasn't high percentage or anything. I just wanted to go for it because I'm up 3 with 30 to go. So I'm okay, you know, so just going for this. Trying not to use too much boost. Definitely this flip reset the opponent goes for. I had a feeling they're going to go for the reset. They keep going for resets, and I kind of expected that. I also, like, if they honestly went for if they had a bit more boost and went for the air dribble play, they honestly would have been fine. Because they went for a flip reset, they hit it to the position and they flung the reset exactly to where I would have been, and I covered for that. And so I did a good job of that, and then that was the game. So overall, lots of good lessons in this series. I feel like really in these 3 games, I learned a lot from just simply being patient and just not using a lot of boost. Did I have some situations where I did expend a good bit of boost? Yeah, of course, but I wanted to make sure I was only saving those types of situations for when I needed to use a good bit of boost. Can I be better and more efficient about doing it? Absolutely. I want to keep improving that, and I like the fact that with these games and with these videos, I'm setting goals consistently for myself. I think that's going to be the long-term method, and I hope you guys enjoy this too. And that being said, if you would like me to review your games, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoy watching this video, I'd like to ask you to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Speedy Man out.